but they were teachers. And even I spent a year on the faculty at Rutgers Law School. So teaching runs deep in my veins. Tonight I've come to do, this afternoon rather, I've come to do what teachers do, and that is to grade the performance of the President of the United States. I've chosen several categories, each relating to America's ability to deliver the American dream. I call it the American Dream Report Card. I have it right here. Let's look at justice first. A few months ago, a young man, black man, was killed tragically in Florida. His name was Trayvon Martin. The president said, "I demand justice for Trayvon Martin." And he sent the Justice Department from Washington to Florida to see what was going on. He demanded justice because he said that Trayvon Martin looked like the son that he would have if he had a son. A little time passed. A young white man, an Australian student, was killed. And I waited and I listened. And I'm still waiting. You see, that young Australian man looks like my sons. He's a little paler than my sons. We can handle that in a couple of hours in the sun. But he had two legs and 2 arms. He had 2 lungs and a heart, just as my sons do. When justice depends upon the color of one's skin, as apparently it does in Washington, certainly as the way that man has expressed it. When the value of life is determined by a little pigment, our nation is in deep trouble. Right. Our house is divided and we cannot stand. It will fall. So, Mr. President, justice, you have earned an F. Equality of opportunity. Let's look at jobs first. This president has been successful in creating hundreds of thousands of jobs. And he has built roads and bridges and major construction projects. The only problem is that he's done it in foreign lands. So they're driving on highways and bridges while our highways and bridges crumble. Their workers are employed while our workers go without work. Their families are fed while our workers' families go hungry. Equality of opportunity with respect to jobs, Mr. President, you've earned an F. Let's look at education. Now, education, we all recognize, is the way that children get the tools to rise up from poverty, from wherever it is that they are, into the American dream. In Louisiana, we have a bad educational system. 40 years of Democrat rule has just about destroyed it. 47% of our schools are poorly performing schools, C, D, and F schools. We've done a lot about that. One of the things that we've done is to create a very good voucher program. $8,000 vouchers, 90% minority, 100% poor, 100% transferring from those worst schools, some of the worst schools in the United States. This president and his Justice Department have gone to court, to federal court in Louisiana, with a lawsuit designed to stop, to destroy our voucher program standing in the schoolhouse doors so that these little children will not be able to get an education, destroying what we have already put into effect for these children. They are trying to destroy. So, Mr. President, with respect to equality of opportunity and education, you definitely deserve an F. Second Amendment rights. Every time that there's a shooting, this president calls for limiting gun ownership, limiting gun sizes, limiting gun capacities. He wants to register guns, first step to confiscation of guns. If there's a shooting in Mooseville, Montana, of a moose, this president will do everything that he can with that shooting to call for a limitation on guns. The problem is that we don't have a gun problem in America. There is a problem of violence. There is a culture of killing. And he does not do anything. He does not complain about, he doesn't talk about the culture of killing. Now, if you take a 3-year-old kid, mama doesn't feel like being bothered with him, daddy's gone. So mama puts him in front of a television set blaring violent video games. And the kid plays violent video games day after day, month after month, year after year. A decade passes, the kid's now 13 years old. He's been taught to kill. His only response to conflict is to kill it. So it's not a surprise that at 13 the kid comes into contact with some bad feeling, some conflict, and he kills. That's predictable. And that is what we have created. We've permitted to be created. We have let violent images, vile language, profane language, garbage be put into these children, particularly in the inner cities of America. And when that garbage comes back out, some people act surprised. Well, it is the culture of killing. If you take guns away, they will still kill. And they will kill with sticks, or stones, or bricks, bats, because it is the culture of killing. Mr. President does not address the culture of killing and the causes of killing. So when it comes to Second Amendment rights, he has earned an F. Protection of the basic fabric of the American family. One of my favorite stories from the Bible is the story of Adam and Eve. Now understand that my words are not directed toward what people do with their property, who they choose to stay with them when they are sick in the hospital, what they do with their money, how they operate their insurance business. None of those things. Not talking about that. Talking about marriage here. So back to, I was a little boy. I was able to see. This is one of my favorite stories. I was able to see it, visualize it. I could see the rock that God put Adam on. It's kind of like a chaise. It's kind of up in the back where he could be comfortable. I saw it. Lord laid him out on that rock and put him to sleep. Now, for a little boy, you know, Superman had X-ray vision. God, of course, had X-ray vision, so he used his X-ray vision to look into the rib cage of Adam, identify his best rib, and took it out. And he blew life and beauty into that rib. And he stood this creation where the sun's rays would hit it just right when Adam would awaken. And Adam would just be mesmerized. And so the Lord said, "Awaken, Adam." And Adam's eyes opened, and the Lord did not say, "Adam, this is Leroy." ordained, what he set forth for us, was the basic family unit. It is composed of a man and a woman and children living in one flesh. So, Mr. President, when it comes to protecting basic family, an F. Protecting the rights of Larry and Leroy, I guess he gets an A for that.
Croc TV.